Welcome everybody to the South Hockey Network, live on YouTube, live from Glenview Community Ice Center, and thank goodness we're on Rink A this time as the Glenbrook South Titans play in their third home game this spring, sixth game overall of the spring campaign, and second against Loyola Gold. Dylan Ward here on the call alongside John Ward. I've just been doing these spring games solo up until this point, but good to have my dad back here in the booth with me. And well, the rosters are a little different, John, but these two teams really got to know each other late in the regular season going into those playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to be out here. I didn't know that there was even this season here until you explained it to me. So I'm sure the kids love it because they get to ply their trade on the ice. Parents probably have an extra expense, I guess, but it's pretty cool to see them out here and having the coaches have a early look at what's to come this coming season.
Yeah, of course, maybe you're joining us for the first time this spring. This team is comprised of no seniors. This is all players that could possibly be part of the roster next year. And in a lot of years past, the spring roster is a pretty good indication of what the regular season roster is going to look like in the following year. Well, the Titans played Loyola at Heartland a week or two ago. They lost 4-2. Asher Vanderploeg scored both goals in that game. You might remember that game had very limited commentary because I was sick. I'm feeling a lot better now, which is good. But now here at Glenview Ice Center and on Rink A, if you remember our last broadcast when the Titans lost to York 7-2, we were on Rink B, which GBS will never play on during the regular season, but here during the spring, it's okay. But John, you've been over there, right?
Yeah.
Basically no seating at all.
Right, exactly.
But for the spring attendances, that's not really a problem.
I am taking a look at the ice, and I don't see the typical referee band out on the ice. I see two linemen, so I'll just have to get used to some slight differences here.
Yep.
And I'm sure, Dylan, you probably know all these players, but I'll be referring to them as Loyola and Glenbrook South because there are no names on the jerseys.
Yeah, just the two-man officiating crew, and they're both linesmen and referees, kind of double duty, as the Titans wearing white will go from left to right here in the first period. Loyola wearing maroon, right to left on your screen. We are underway at Glenview Ice Center as the first period is underway. 15-minute periods, of course. Here is Jack Blazejowski in on Preston. He takes a shot, and the freshman who will be a sophomore next year, makes his first save early of the game. Now Vanderploeg gets it ahead for Kosmeter. Owen Kosmeter around the boards, trying to get around one defender, but it's given back up to Loyola. Now a hit on the near side. One man tried to knock into Anthony Donato. That was Ryan Mulvey wearing the number 17, but Loyola will bring it back the other way. Luke Berghoff with a shot. That one seared aside by the stick of Preston. 2 for 2 here early on. Now Vanderploeg, backhand pass, finds Jonah Weiss, who tries a shot. That one deflects off a stick and up into the netting for our first stoppage. And John, you will notice Asher Vanderploeg wearing number 63 here in the spring season is kind of playing defense and forward on a shift-to-shift basis. And obviously, in his long varsity career, he's been nothing but a defenseman, but he's shown some good signs on offense here in the spring, so that could be something we see for his senior year next year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Backhand shot right in the slot, and a pad save made by the starting goalie for Loyola. We'll get a number as soon as we possibly can. Actually, I could peek at the goalie cams. That's a nice feature. Benjamin Surachandra in net for the Ramblers. Now the other way comes Loyola. Here's a centering pass. Oh, what a save made by the pad of Thomas Preston.
And we have a penalty coming up. I think the speed of Loyola got GBS there as they got the puck taken away from him at the blue line by a Loyola player, and then he, to make up for that, had to come back and I think probably hold.
Look at this save made by Thomas Preston. Just getting enough on that one, but as you said, John, Charles Sullivan goes to the box, and that's a penalty against the Titans. So the Ramblers will get to work on the power play. Good clear to start, but all penalty kill situations are sponsored by Hannah Trial Attorneys. And John, the Titans the special teams on both sides of things have been one of their weaker spots all spring. So far through their 5 games, their penalty kill just 61.5%. Talk about their power play. Still looking for the first goal through what is now 6 games, 0 for 13, but got to kill this penalty first.
Yeah, if you go back to your thought on Vanderploeg, you know, this is a good time to, I guess, experiment with.
Here's Makrulis, nice pass, finds Preston, he takes a shot, save made by Surchandra. Now back up high, the Titans remain shorthanded, will hang on to the puck. Graham Vanderploeg cycling back into his own end, below the goal line, being pressured, and now will clear. Halfway through the penalty kill, couple of clearances and a shorthanded chance by the Titans, but still some time left. Graham Vanderploeg gets to that puck in his own zone, spins to elude a check, cycles back to his own end and clears once again. That one takes a funny hop off the boards. It allows for a chance. Zach Boris couldn't get a backhander on net. Almost looks like that net is off. It actually was. The goalie will fix it mid-play and will continue on without a whistle. Donato gets stick checked and the puck is taken away by the Titans, but they just miss the high glass and it goes out of play for a whistle.
Yeah, well, listen, I'll even have to get used to this being able to talk in between the plays. Every time I say something, something exciting happens. But yeah, this is a time for experimentation. Vanderploeg throwing him up on offense, throwing him on defense, seeing where he's going to help the team the most.
Face-off win. Here's a shot by Loyola. Another save made by Preston. 25 seconds left on the power play for the Ramblers.
And GBS to work on their power play. If you're 0 for 13, you got to figure something out, and now's the time to do it.
Yeah, one of the best power plays in the SHL during the regular season. Here's a shot. Preston got a piece of that one, sending it high over the crossbar. As Loyola takes the puck again. 11 seniors on the varsity team. So it's going to be quite a different squad next year from what the Titans worked with this year in the regular season. Penalty is over, so the Titans are 1 for 1 on the kill. That's a good start as we remain scoreless here quite early on. Nearly a trip, but I think Colin Wigmore might have been wishing he sold that a little bit better. And the Titans will get out of it unharmed. This one tipped ahead, big hit in the near side, sending Mendoza down, one of the Ramblers. He'll get right back up and dump it in. As it's settled down by Srichandra to the far side corner. Charlie Tubuchanik. Now Daniel Sokol. And Loyola will bring it back out. Here comes Shunyong, nice pass ahead, here's a shot, they score! Jack Blazejowski, the recipient of a great pass at the blue line, had a partial breakaway and breaks the ice. Loyola strikes first.
Yeah, Jack Blazejowski, you could already see right from the opening faceoff, he was really, really on fire. And so he's skating fast. He was able to pick up that pass right at the blue line, and he was all free and clear to come in on Preston and beat it, Preston on the glove side.
So Jack Blazejowski, one of the Ramblers from the regular season, who is going to return for what I believe will be his senior year as Loyola enters offside. He was one of the guys who had a lot of points in the regular season in SHL play, and a lot of those points against the Titans when in that stretch where they played each other, what, 7 times in a stretch of 10 or 15 games. Back underway, neutral zone face-off is taken by Loyola. Luke Fagan gets it ahead. Now pass to the slot. Jacob Steele just out of the reach of that one. Now some bodies go flying. Titans come away with the puck. Daniel Sokol with a shot, but making the block was Birkenbuell of Loyola. Now the Ramblers come out through center ice. Some pressure from behind. Loose puck, and we have, what was that, an offside?
Yeah.
Okay, offside, 10-10 to go in the first period. A lot of whistles here early on.
Yeah, Dylan, but this is also a great chance for these guys to get their skating mojo back up and keep it going from the last season. And somebody like Jack Blazejowski, you know, he's a fast skater, and you know, that's One of the biggest advantages you could have at this level of hockey is to be fast on your skates and know what you're doing, because you're going to be able to.
Here's a shot by Kosmiter on a pass from Jonah Weiss. Talk about a guy who's got some wheels. Number 3, Jonah Weiss in front of the net. But this is Vanderplug with the puck, sends it up to the right point. But the ref blows it dead. Looks like that net has come off again. This one might last as long as a regular season game, but with the way we've been stop and play, only 5 minutes and some change have elapsed off the clock.
Well, he's got to stop that, because when the net comes off its moorings, while there's an offensive threat in that zone, you got to stop it. He didn't the last couple times just because Loyola was bringing it out of the zone.
And they bring it out of the zone again, off the boards, picked up Peter Lochnicki. Tried a shot, crashing the net was Luke Berghoff. Now off the end boards. Loyola unable to settle it down, and here comes Asher Vanderplug. Playing forward this shift, Vanderplug with a shot, and a stick getting a piece of that one, sending it up and over the glass into the netting.
I don't know if you've talked to Vanderplug yet about whether he likes that possible conversion, if you will. But he looked like he enjoyed coming over that blue line and getting a shot on net.
I'll tell you what, he's the team leader in goals so far this spring with 3. The leader in points, Alex Tutai, with 2 goals and 2 assists. The Titans looking for their first win. They are 0-4-1. So losing 4 and technically tying a game. That was against New Trier Green, but head coach Jim Philbin and the head coach of New Trier Green, Adam Cheris, both decided to do a shootout for that one. The Titans ended up losing that shootout, and here's Teddy McCrulis putting a backhander into the net after the whistle. Lucky to not get a worse reaction from doing that.
They called that offsides. I thought that Charles Sullivan was just sitting right on the blue line, and he was in good position, so a little unlucky.
Face-off win for GBS and Neutral Ice. They'll dump this one down. Goes to the far side half wall. Charlie Preston getting it down to Teddy McCrulis, who's hitting to the boards, and that might be a penalty against Loyola. Elbowing is signaled by the referee. And yes, sir, that's going to send the Titans to the power play.
Yeah, that's going to be Gall going to the box. McCrulis had his back to the play, and then he got hit from the back into the boards. That's probably what he's calling. Even if it's close on a game like this, refs are going to call that to tone that down.
All right, 0 for 3 on the man advantage. 0 for 6 last game against York. Let's see if they can finally get one by. Here's a shot, save, rebound. They can't bury the rebound, and Loyola will clear it down. As the Titans looking to tie this game up, trailing 1-0 on Jack Blazejowski's opening goal here in the first period. Behind the net, it's given up to McCrulis. Teddy McCrulis over the line, left wing side, drops it off up high. Graham Vanderplug down to the circle. Here's a shot. That one taken by Charlie Preston, but it goes wide of the net. And it bounces all the way outside the zone. Ryan Mulvey. Now McCrulis getting it down into the zone. Donato takes it away for Loyola, and he will clear it down once again. Halfway through the Titan power play. Haven't really gotten anything set up in their offensive zone yet. Graham Vanderplug over the line, down the left wing side. Now his brother Asher takes a shot on the follow-up. That one stopped. Rebound, backhander right in front by Asher. Vanderplug would not go. Ryan Mulvey keeps it in with his skate, but just for a moment, it gets played out by the Ramblers. Titans come right back into the zone, and Loyola clears it right back down the other way. 30 seconds left on the man advantage. This one passed up near the blue line. Asher Vanderplug has to wait to be onside. He'll cycle back. Vanderplug now over the line, this time legally. Down the right wing side, centered it, looking for the tip by Weiss. Found it, but unable to tip it on net. The Ramblers will clear, and with just 8 seconds left on the power play, that should just about do it. So 0 for 14 so far on the spring season on the power play, and 0 for 1 here in this game. Here's Tutai over the line. Alex Tutai tried to shot that one wide of the net. Rebound, Loyola trying to chip it out as it's being fought for near the half wall and open ice, and eventually the Ramblers able to play it off the far boards and down. Tutai tips this one ahead. This one's centered. Now eventually Zach Boris gets it. Here's a tip on net by Tutai, and then a follow-up shot. Both those were stopped by Benjamin Sarantra.
Yeah, he had a good series of saves there, and the puck was just too deep for the GBS player to lift it up over his shoulders.
So 1-0 Loyola. Shots on goal 7-4 in favor of GBS, but Benjamin Srichandra had a pretty solid performance.
Yeah, that was a nice save on Preston too, and I like it that he's just kind of, even in this kind of exhibition type games, you know, he's just holding on to it, getting used to doing that. And it's going to be unfortunate that I can't call him a freshman anymore. That's kind of fun.
The sophomore is maybe not as impressive, but still impressive. Thomas Preston has a long future ahead of him here at GBS hockey, and through 1 year as a freshman, some pretty good numbers as the Titans' #1 netminder. Isaac Bennell, the backup here this spring season. Actually, they've really been splitting time equally. But Bennell, obviously a goalie on Varsity 2 last year. As one man got his pocket picked, that was Graham Vanderploeg. Meanwhile, near side interference call will go against Loyola, which will send the Titans right back to the man advantage.
I did not see that play, but that was Lochnicki that must have just gotten in the way of a GBS player off the puck.
Look at Gerard's brand new camera. He's got set up right there. You could see it. Just
very, very cool. He's got a camera kind of right over the shoulders of the players on the bench at the penalty box.
Call that the PTZ, the pan tilt zoom.
We can get a lip reader in here and figure out what these people are saying when they go to the box.
Get John Boy on the program for spring high school hockey here in Illinois. Some of you will get that reference. All right, power play once again for the Titans. Failed to mention this last time, but just like last time, all power plays on the South Hockey Network are sponsored by RSM, the power of being understood. And this Glenbrook South power play is more than due. Vanderploeg, left point, gets this one down low for Steele, pinning it up against the far side corner boards. It eventually pops free. Loyola will ring it around the boards and just outside the zone as it bounces over the stick of Ryan Mulvey. Now thrown across, Daniel Sokol. Gonna get that one over the line, but he's hurting after a bit of a tie-up there with one of the Ramblers, and he'll make his way back to the bench halfway through the man advantage.
Yeah, he couldn't even pull his leg over the bench to get on it. Got to open up the door.
Now Ryan Mulvey leading the charge, puts on the brakes, right circle. Mulvey up high for McCrulis, back for Mulvey, now across. Graham Vanderploeg with a shot, that one gets blocked. Rebound sends it to the far side corner for Sullivan. Puck taken away by Loyola behind the net, and they'll clear it, but not outside the zone, kept alive by Vanderploeg, left point. Now a loose puck in the left circle, sent low. Loyola picks it back up, and they will fire this one down. 20 seconds left on the penalty to Peter Lochnicki. Maybe time for one more rush. Nice spin move there by Graham Vanderploeg. Getting this one up ice. Here's Charlie Preston. Preston with a shot. Absorbed by Benjamin Srichandra.
I was just going to say, when I noticed GBS inside their offensive zone on a power play, the longer that they can't make those passes to each other, that just helps Loyola. A lot of time ticked off the clock right in the zone, and GBS wasn't able to connect on those passes, just get that good chance. If you can't connect on the passes, then you don't end up with a very good chance for your shot. So maybe that's why they're over 14. Just have to start working on that, get some better plays, better passes, and better shots.
Well, now 0 for 15 as the power play has expired. 0 for 2 in the game. Vanderplug to the near side. Kosmeter with a shot. That one blocked by Kariotis. Now it goes to the far side. Mendoza slides it over. Luke Fagan with a shot. That one stopped, and the rebound covered up by Surachandra.
That was a pretty good stop by Krishanda, because that puck was slipped through a Loyola defenseman's legs, and it almost looked like the Loyola goalie was looking the other way, and it just hit him right in the pads. So on that one, he gets the save for just being in the right position.
Can never complain about that if you're a goaltender. Two and a half to go in the first period. The lone goal in the game belonging to Peter Lochnicki. Glenbrook South in their last game, a 7-2 loss, actually did score the first goal before allowing 7 of the next 8. That pass just wouldn't connect, and it gets deflected all the way down. Preston leaves it aside for Luke Fagan. By the way, Will Fagan not available tonight, neither is Blake Hoffer. I believe Will Fagan is a lacrosse player, so that might have something to do with that. Now Vanderplug ahead, Kosmeter chasing after the puck. He's down the right wing side, shoots and scores! His first goal this spring in a GBS hockey uniform. Owen Kosmeter ties the game up with 1:42 to go in the first.
That was really cool, because that was almost like a 3-on-1 if we could put the replay back up. And because GBS had a player coming down the middle and the far left side.
Oh, I might have not gotten the replay on that one.
Okay. Because he had his other 2 players there, the Loyola goalie had to position himself a little bit more to the center of the net, because he had to wait for that pass going over, but the pass never came, and it was slipped through the short slide. So just a good choice on the shot by the GBS player.
All right, so 1-1 the score, all even here at Glenview Ice Center. We'll see if the Titans can maybe carry a lead into the second period, if they can find one more, but I would say they've probably been the better team, not by a wide margin through this first period, so good to see them get rewarded. Now here's Ryan Mulvey with a tough angle shot. That one stopped by Surachandra. Now played below the goal line, Peter Winslow. They fight for it near side half boards. Titans offensive zone. Back up Ryan Mulvey, big shot. Slap shot is stopped by the pads of Surachandra. Now below the goal line. It goes to the far side, and the Rambler is able to get this one out, dump it down. Preston leaves it behind his net. Picked up by Mulvey. Long pass looking for Graham Vanderplug, but that one just a little too hot to handle, and it goes past him. Zach Boris now picks it up. Penalty coming up against the Ramblers once again. Thomas Preston going to the bench on the delayed call. And now it's touched up by Loyola. And another Titan power play is coming right up.
Yeah, Loyola number 34 is going to go to the box. He also had a little bit of a tilt right at the center ice with, I think, Vanderplug, but that was after his infraction earlier. So he's going to go to the box, and pretty much this is going to be the majority of the second period that'll get the last minute and 40 seconds of this power play. But a good opportunity for GBS to go ahead here.
0 for 2 in the game on the power play. All power plays are sponsored by RSM. Discover the power of being understood. It's the law of large numbers, John. At some point, this power play is going to hit. Maybe this is the one. 0 for 15 on the spring season, as it's pinned up against the near corner. Time dripping off the clock. 5 seconds as the puck's still not free, and That'll carry us into the end of the first. It does come free, but they'll run out of time. After 15 minutes, GBS and Loyola all tied up at 1. Titans leading shots on goal 11-5.
And number 34 Loyola is Donato, still pleading his case with the referee. So he came out of the box for the, I guess they can do that in between periods, come out of the box and join your team, and he's just still trying to talk to the referee and say, look, you know, I just don't think you got that right. And the ref is saying, yeah, well, go back in for 1:40 left for the second period.
So they'll switch sides, obviously, in the second period. No ice cut. This is usual, though, for the regular season, not to have it between the first and second. This is Dylan Ward alongside John Ward and Gerard Boris, of course, none other than our technical engineer. I see him actually doing the scoreboard, too. I don't know if we just don't have someone available to do the scoreboard, but Gerard double duty down there, just like the refs tonight. We've got the brand new PTZ cam. You just saw the Titans discussing things at their bench. Well, GBS looking for their first win of the spring.
All right, well, here they go. 1:40 left of power play. Some of the more speedier Loyola players are on the ice for this, so they're going to be looking to get that puck as fast as they can and clear it back down to the GBS zone.
Vanderplug wins the face-off, and we get going here in period number 2. A fresh 15 minutes on the clock. Cosmeter goes across. That one bounces off the skate of Jonah Weiss. Now he has to really speed up to win the race to the puck against Lochnicki, and he eventually will. 1:20 to go on the power play. Here's Cosmeter, he's got the lone goal. Passes it to Mulvey. Ryan Mulvey. Down in that corner, back up to Weiss, slides it across. Graham Vanderplug. Vanderplug finds some space, he shoots! And the save made by Srichandra, he hangs on.
Wow, what a nice deke move by Vanderplug right there as he got the puck at the left defense, and he just decided to, you know, put a move on the Loyola player and moved him right into the slot. So I got to give more credit to the goalie. That was a great shot. High, and he was able to get a shoulder on it.
Drop of the puck, Titans win the faceoff once again. Graham Vanderplug goes across. Ryan Mulvey gets it down low. Cosmeter back to Mulvey. Mulvey up high, Owen Cosmeter. Thought about a shot, instead he'll go to Mulvey. Now down low to Asher Vanderplug. Up to Mulvey. Right point, down to Asher once again. Plays one off the end boards. Goes to his brother Graham Vanderplug. Now to Mulvey. To the near side. Picked up by Weiss. Goes up to the right point. Mulvey with a shot. Into the glove of Srichandra. And he hangs on once again.
Yeah, the Loyola goalie was able to see that all the way. There was only one other player in the line of that shot. It was a nice fast shot, a rising shot. I'm more of a fan of a shot that stays on the ice, but you got to have players down in front of that goalie for a low shot to be deflected. That wasn't going to be deflected by anybody.
Back underway, still 20 seconds left on this man advantage. Some new Titans out on the ice. McCrulis plays it off the boards, back up high. Luke Fagan has it at the right point. Fagan across to the near side, Anthony Pinto. Got his stick checked, and Christopher Gall forces it out to neutral ice. Titans pick it right back up. They'll send it into the zone. And Titans keep possession alive, but the power play is over. Here's a shot, tipped, save, rebound. McCrulis got another chance, and the second one was stopped as well. Now the other way, this pass found the center, but a good defensive effort there by who I believe is, let's see, Charlie Preston. Yes, Charlie Preston. It's part of these spring jerseys, John, is one thing they don't have, besides names, is sleeve or shoulder numbers, and you don't realize as a broadcaster how often you're using those until the team doesn't have it. Shot from up high by Loyola. Go ahead.
I'm just going to say that obviously all of those indicators are such a great help for the broadcasters.
And a shot turned away by Preston once again. Now back up high left point. Loyola creeps down low. to get around Pinto. That one hits the side of the net, bounces way up high and out of the zone. A little pushing and shoving behind the play there, as you noticed there. But won't result in any penalties. Here's Birkenbuell. He's being pressured by Zach Boris. Boris looking to knock him off the puck.
And does.
Now Tutai swoops in there. Penalty coming up. Or maybe just touched by a high stick. But GBS touches the puck. And no, it is a penalty.
Might be a slashing on Boris.
Yeah, it looks like slashing was the call made by the official, and Zach Boris will go to the box. So after the Titans 0 for 3 on the power play, now it's their turn to have a seat, and Loyola's power play will get back to work. All penalty kill situations for the Titans are brought to you by Hannah Vanderploeg Trial Attorneys. The power play for Loyola, 0 for 1 in the game. We'll see if the Titans can kill off 2 straight. And Preston able to get enough of a glove on that one to stop play. 1-1 the score.
Preston had his glove on it, and then he got whacked by a Loyola stick. And then all of a sudden the puck became visible again. And I was like, I don't know if you can really do that. Got to have a whistle blown, and finally it was.
Cleared out of the zone by GBS. Donato. Probably the only guy on either of these teams who I have noticed has his regular jersey number on, number 34. I remember that.
I just noticed that the GBS player just rang that puck around the boards, and it hit a stanchion and came right back out. So that was almost a really unfortunate play.
We saw that a couple times the other day on Rink B, but here's a steal for the Titans as they rush up by shorthanded. Graham Vanderploeg down the left wing side, centered it. Here's a shot by Tutai, and a nice save made by Srichandra.
What a great place by Vanderploeg to actually get that pass off, and then he hit Tutai right on the tape.
I say, if the Titans can't score a power play goal in 16 tries, but get a shorty. Here's a shot, that one put wide. 50 seconds left on the Rambler man advantage. Henry Hoffman behind the net. We'll go to Jack Blazejowski. He scored the game's opening goal, looking for an assist this time. Gets it over to the left circle, but it's fired high and wide of the net. Now this one poked ahead. Here comes Ryan Mulvey. He scores! A shorty for GBS, and the captain gets it done. First lead of the night.
Wow, that was a great pickup by Mulvey. He just picked up that loose puck right at about the center line and just came in right here. He's got 97 that almost passed it, kind of looked like it passed it, and then just a highlight goal. He beats the Loyola goalie high over the right shoulder. Very cool looking goal to go ahead 2-1.
Well, there you have it. 0 for 16 this spring on the power play, but a shorthanded goal by the Titans gives them the lead. Ryan Mulvey, his first goal of the spring season, adds to his assist. And just what the doctor ordered for GBS, who now has their first lead. This one backhanded out of the zone. 10 seconds left on the Rambler power play. Ryan Mulvey, we've been saying that name for quite some time. He's entering his senior year next year and has been on this varsity squad since his freshman year. Him and Asher Vanderploeg, the only two guys who are able to say that. And of course, even before he was a freshman, they were calling his brother's name Jack Mulvey. Jonah Weiss over the line, gets it to Kosmeter, takes a shot, looking for a second of the night, but that one stopped by Srichandra. Into the glove it goes.
That was a very nice play and a great shot by Charles. Just a bit better save, so.
9:25 to go in the second. Titans dominating the shots on goal, 18-8. They went down 1-0, but have scored 2 in a row. Owen Kosmeter and Ryan Mulvey. And again, this is not a game for 2 points or anything, but you'd love to get your first win on the board here on home ice. The Titans, this is the first game of a back-to-back. They'll be in Lake Forest tomorrow night playing the Scouts. Following that, a 2-week-long break in between games. Here's Pinto up high to the circle, spinning around, firing that one was Charlie Tubuchanik. It deflects right over to Jonah Weiss, but he couldn't get stick on that one. Now up high, kept alive by Pinto. He sends it down low. Weiss behind the goal line. He's hitting to the boards.
Big 75 steal having a really good shift here.
As this one centered, looking for Weiss, but off a Loyola skate, and they'll bring it back out. Weiss leaves it. Here comes steal up ice, or no, pardon me, that is Mendoza. He tried to center it, looking for Charlie Tubuchanik, who had a wide open net, but the puck just past his stick. Delayed offsides. That'll allow Charles Sullivan to grab it easily. Sullivan through the neutral zone. He's over the line, looking to go between the legs of a defender, unable to. Now below the goal line, they'll try and feather that one out to the low slot, but the Ramblers take it away and clear it out once again. We're halfway through the game here at the Glenview Ice Center. 2-1 Titans. Look out in the Titan bench. That one just ripped into the home bench here at Glenview Ice Center.
That's why you got those face cages.
Yeah.
Right, you still pay attention to the game, but just in case there's an accident. But I did see one of the trainers or the coaches there really duck fast because he does not have any protection.
Yeah, right. That's right. You got Jim Philbin and his son, Jimmy Philbin Jr., along with Joe Locallo on the bench. The full coaching staff here present. I see Scott Serralo, the head coach of Loyola Gold, behind the bench. He was absent the first time these two teams played this spring down at Heartland a week or two ago. This one comes outside the zone. Race for the puck, and Birkenbuell will get there first. Being pressured by Sullivan from behind. Birkenbuell got his pocket picked by Sullivan. Charles Sullivan, at the end of a long shift, couldn't get around a couple defenders, and it's sent the other way by Loyola. Sullivan in his own zone. Plays it to the near side. Off the boards, picked up by Graham Vanderplug. Gets it up ice. Here comes Asher Vanderplug. What a move. No, pardon me, that's Ryan Mulvey. But he's unable to spin and fire that one on net, but otherwise a great play. Now Graham Vanderplug takes a hit into the near side corner. That allows Loyola to center it, but a good stick getting in the way of that chance. Now a penalty coming up, or no, pardon me, delayed offsides. That's the struggle with having just the two officials. So you're always looking for that orange band. Now here's a chance for Loyola. That one clean off the post on the shot taken by Obrisky. Now up high, left point. Sent down low once again. Loyola will try and center that one to the low slot. Instead, it's taken back by the Titans. Here comes Graham Vanderplug, gets it up ice. Nice pass, finds Boris. He takes a shot, and the save is made by Srichandra. Rebound kicked back to the stick by Alex Tutai. Goes behind the net for Boris, but a penalty coming up. So the ref was right on top of it. Let's see what he found. A slash.
So that's GBS really putting the pressure on, forcing Loyola to have to, you know, not force him to slash him, but he definitely tried to stop the GBS momentum. That replay was the shot off the post. So a goalie's best friend. Right here it comes in. He had him beat. He just shot it just a puck's worth wide.
All right. Will this be the one? 0 for 3 in the game. Titans back to the power play. All power play sponsored by RSM. I'm getting tired of bringing up this storyline. But the Titan power play yet to find a goal yet this spring. double yet, as the Ramblers will send this one all the way down. Preston out of his net. He'll play that one to the far side. Picked up by Loyola as they look for a shorthanded chance to counter the Titans' shorthanded goal earlier here in the second period. But GBS will get the puck back. Here comes Asher Vanderploeg. Over the line, left wing side, centered at Jonah Weiss, wide open, takes a shot, and it's gobbled up by Srichandra.
You know, Vanderploeg just used his speed, and I have to tell you that when you look at these young athletes, speed is the thing that excites me the most, because you're going to be able to create so many chances, and he just had a fantastic pass to Jonah Weiss right down the center. Great chance for GBS there, just created by the skating faster than your opponent.
Now Vanderploeg down low. Graham Vanderploeg, Asher and Graham out there as they've been for a lot of the power plays. Now Graham gets it down low. Picked up near side corner by Loyola, just past the stick of Asher, and it gets sent all the way down. Titans get it back. Here's Luke Fagan. Back for Asher Vanderploeg. Vanderploeg skates over the blue line. Nice pass, looking for Cosmeter. He'll eventually get to it off the boards. Now played back up high. Here's a shot, looking for a deflection, but that's clean off the pad of Srichandra. Now off the far boards, back up high. This one fired, and just getting a piece of that one was Srichandra. 3.5 to go here in period number 2. 11 seconds left on the power play for the Titans. Ramblers can't clear this one out. Ryan Mulvey gets it down to Cosmeter. Back up high, a shot, save, rebound, another save made by the goaltender Srichandra.
Boy, was that a great stop by the Loyola goaltender. Just, and the last couple of shots that we've had have been low. Kids getting their sticks on it. Anything can happen, and that's what you want to see versus a higher shot, right? The low ones, you can see a good view here. It just comes in. It's maybe about 6 inches off the ground. I think I saw 1 or 2 tips as it worked its way onto the net, but he made a great stop.
That's that PTZ cam. Gerard having it pointed at the net. Good call, as we got a great angle of that. Another power play has expired. And now 0 for 4 in tonight's game are the Glenbrook South Titans, who have really taken control of this game in terms of the shots on goal. 25-8, but still just 2-1. Ramblers dump this one in. Takes a high bounce off the near side corner boards, as it's sent out of the zone. Jonah Weiss boxed off one man, gets to the puck. Now he's forced off the puck, and the Ramblers will take it back. Birkenbuell being pressured by Charlie Tubuchanik. Now Jacob Steele as well, but they are able to pop that one out to the neutral zone. Jonah Weiss, nice recipient of a pass. Now ahead, Charlie Tubuchanik, Jacob Steele, as it's fought for near side half boards, and Loyola will bring it out. Under 2 minutes left. Jake Obrepski knocked off the puck once more. Tubuchanik out to Steele. Steele ahead for Jonah Weiss. Weiss over the line, right wing side, trying to kill some time while his teammates change, but Loyola gets it out. Nice pass, finds one man, that's James Castiller on a breakaway, but a good defensive play prevents even a shot attempt. Now Sullivan over the line, leads a 3-on-2, gets it over to the near side, looking back for Sullivan, but a stick in the way, and Loyola will clear it down. That's an icing. Let's have another look at that defensive effort to prevent that breakaway chance.
Yeah, I felt like the GBS player had that one extra legitimate stride and was able to get perfectly clean play. Just reached over his shoulder, used his stick, so no penalty at all called. It was about the cleanest play tonight. Boom.
Yeah, that's a really good play by Braden Mendoza. Would have to agree with you there. You know, it's always a good defensive play when someone has a breakaway and they don't even shoot the puck. 1 minute left here in the second period. See if the Titans can find one more to show for their efforts here in the middle frame. Dominant. Against Loyola, the score could be way more than just 2-1. And that's the problem with a one-goal game, is if you're dominating, it's just one shot can tie it all up and change the story completely. Yeah, get this one out to neutralize. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when you look at the shots on goal, you know, you have to look at the Loyola goaltender as one of the stars here so far. I mean, he has stopped 23 shots, certainly been the busier man.
This one fired wide, and think of the 2 goals he allowed. One of them just clean breakaway. Never really can chuck that one up to the goalie, and then the other one just another sort of odd man rush passing play. Buzzer sounds, some pushing and shoving after the whistle.
Yeah, Charles Sullivan getting a little bit, wants to use a little physicality. He knows the buzzer has sounded, but no penalty. Each player goes back to their own bench.
All right, so 15 minutes remain here at the Glenview Ice Center after going down 1-0. The Titans with 2 straight goals, Owen Kosmeter and Ryan Mulvey in that order. John, it's an exciting time of year, of course, in the hockey world. Let's take a look at some Stanley Cup playoff scores tonight. The Carolina Hurricanes winning 3-1 over the Devils. Same exact score as Game 1, so that is a 2-0 series lead for the Canes. The Maple Leafs already up 1-0 in the series, up 2-1 in Game 2. The third period just about to start there. The Florida Panthers up 2-1 over the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's only Game 1, actually. That series starting a little bit later. I'm sure that just has to do with TV and rink availability. And then, how about this? A 10 p.m. start here, local or Central Time, between the Wild and Golden Knights. Game 2, Vegas leads that series 1-0. If you're on the East Coast, that's an 11 o'clock puck drop. And, you know, with these playoff national televised games, that's more of an 11-16 puck drop.
Yeah, and you might hear this in my voice, but this is typically my most exciting time of the year, where the Hawks would be in a playoff series and playoff, you know, bound, but last couple of years it hasn't been the same. So to really enjoy hockey in general, no matter where it is, with the high school level, pro level, but I just need to have those Blackhawks back in it. So hopefully they can get that figured out this upcoming year.
You know what? I think I heard from Gerard that Brad Cesario might be tuning in from home, and last time I saw him, he promised me a Stanley Cup prediction by Tuesday, and if I check my calendar, today is Tuesday. So Brad, if you want to text that to me or maybe leave a message in the chat, I would love to know who your pick to win the Stanley Cup is. Mine, of course, is the Washington Capitals. We're underway in the third period. Titans up 2-1. Back to our first period shooting sides. GBS in white going from left to right on your screen. Loyola in maroon, of course, right to left. Over the line, nice pass down to the tough angle. Here's a shot by Luke Berghoff, but that one stopped by Thomas Preston. Now near side. Man goes crashing into the boards for Loyola. That allows the Titans to get it out. Graham Vanderploeg finds Kosmeter. Neutral ice, he'll try and slap that one down. Zach Boris. That puck just comes outside the zone. Right back in by the Titans. That tough angle shot by the Ramblers, their 9th shot on goal of the game. What feels like their first shot on goal in quite some time, at least on the scoreboard.
And you don't mind shots like that. I mean, Preston's looking at him and goes, hey, listen, if you want to try it from the goal, just about 1 foot above the goal line, great. Go ahead and do it. It's not going in.
There's another shot on goal, number 10 against Preston. He makes that save. And the Titans will bring it back out. Here comes Zach Boris. Takes a shot. That one stopped by the right pad of Strachandra. Boris with a goal so far in the spring season. As a matter of fact, he, coming into this game, was on the ice for the last 5 goals the Titans scored, but only registered a point on 1 of them. Tough luck. Oh, Gerard flashes a 2 for me. There's a shot, they score. Coming right back into the zone the other way, Loyola ties the game up. Christopher Gall, and it's 2-2.
Wow, Christopher Gall just put a highlight reel of himself. He actually took the puck away from the GBS player right inside the blue line and then quickly snapped it off over the shoulder of Preston. You know, the whole lane was open between the shooter and Preston, but it was a perfectly placed shot. You see that sailing right over his right shoulder on the short side.
All right, so what was I just saying? Look at those shots on goal, 26-11, but a hot start to this third period for Loyola finds themselves tying this game up. The Titans looking for their first win of the spring. Again, we're a little far from that, but just so everyone knows, there's no overtime procedure in the spring. Game could just end in a tie, but again, we saw earlier this spring season, if the coaches agree to do something, maybe a shootout, if anything, they will.
They probably will if they think that they need to practice that part. You know,
yeah, why not? It probably has to do with ice time as well. I don't know, not too much is happening at the ice rinks around this time of year. All the high school and youth stuff is wrapped up.
You know what, Dylan, I want to go back to Boris.
There's a nice move by Charles Sullivan. Finds some space, takes a shot. That one stopped by Sir Chandra. That's a nice release by number 8, the freshman. And it's held on too long enough for a whistle.
Didn't look like it was held on that long. But going back to Boris, I wanted to say that what he did, we don't have a highlight of it, but a little earlier, he brought the puck over the line, cut back towards the middle, and then he got a shot on net that was, I think, a surprise. I mean, you surprise the goalie, and I think if you look at people like Connor Bedard and Connor McDavid, the Connors, right, that one of their big successful moves is taking a shot that's just surprising the goalie, and for one split second the goalie doesn't, he thinks he's going to go farther out wide, but all of a sudden the puck comes in. He wasn't expecting it. It's a real talent, and I think that Boris just showed us right there, if you can get that surprise shot off, you're going to score some goals from that.
Yeah, whether it be the release of your shot or just a bang-bang passing play, one of the biggest keys to scoring in hockey is not giving the goalie enough time to react. And I'm sure Zach Boris, listening back to this, won't mind the Bedard and McDavid comparisons there.
Well, it was good. And, of course, that goes for everybody on the team. You know, they kind of perfect. I don't know how you practice that, but maybe that's instinctive.
2-2 the score. The Loyola goals being the bread of the sandwich in the scoring today. Charlie Tubakanik over the line, right wing side. Sends one towards the net. Punch to the far side corner, and Loyola will bring it out. Getting in the way of that was Luke Fagan. Puck high in the air and bounced just enough to come outside the zone. Loyola, Donato making a nice play, but it's taken back by Steele of the Titans. Jacob Steele, high slot. Now far side, Cosmeter. Sending this one down below the line. Picked back up by the Ramblers. They'll send this one out to neutral ice. Kept alive by the skates of Graham Vanderploeg. And now sent on net. Easy save made by Sir Chandra. Asher Vanderploeg tried to keep it in the zone. It's kept alive by the Titans in neutral ice. Asher looking for Jonah Weiss. It missed him, so it'll go all the way down for an icing. 9:45 to go in the third period. Dylan Ward, John Ward with the headsets on. and Gerard Boris behind the scenes making it all happen.
Well, we got a 2-2 game, 9:45 left to go, so something good to fight for. Almost a 3-1 shot advantage for GBS, but not a advantage on the scoreboard. So 2-2. You don't want to let Loyola win this with that many more shots on net than them.
The Titans trying to not let this become the third straight game in which they've blown a lead and lost. They were leading 2-1. Zach Boris tried a backhand pass to the slot, didn't work out. Now Loyola will come the other way. And Anthony Pinto picking his pocket. To the near side it comes. Mendoza gets it ahead. Alex Tutai with a shot. That one is blocked by Loyola. Now back up high. Mendoza just keeps it in. It was close, but the linesman said it was okay. And it doesn't matter.
And normally those linesmen would be right on the blue line.
Right.
Now they're all with only 2 linesmen here, no orange band. They're calling them sometimes from 20, 30 feet inside the zone.
That one tipped on net. Preston alert to that. He makes the stop, and the clock stops with 8:35 to go in regulation time. 2-2 the score. GBS lost 2-0 to GBN in their opening game of the spring. Then they played them again, and Northbrook lost 6-2. And they played Loyola, lost 4-2 in that one. Lost in a shootout to Nutra Green, 4-3. And 7-2 to York last time out. Again, it's not 2 points they're fighting for, but love to see one in the W column. Here's a shot by Asher Vanderploeg. It goes off the post, and then on the follow-up, it wouldn't go either.
Asher Vanderploeg came in on that one, and I think he was just so surprised that he could come in more and more and more without being just kind of uncontested, and then he ripped it off the post. It's a good shot.
One thing we saw a lot of in the first 2 periods are penalties. I don't think we've had one in the third yet. And Strachandra will cover this one up. Let's have a look.
Yeah, right here, he's coming in, he's coming in, he's coming in. Probably could have come in a few more feet, but
this will be
not a bad shot.
The PTZ was pointed towards the net. Let's look at that post.
Dink.
Yeah, right. Square off the iron. That's Gerard controlling that. 31-13 the shots in favor of the home team here at Glenview Ice Center. Halfway through period number 3. Sullivan tried a pass that's intercepted by the Ramblers. This one deflects toward the net, and it's sticked aside by the goalie Thomas Preston. Behind the net, Luke Fagan. Far side, they can't get it out. Anthony Pinto takes it back. Looking for Sullivan, just a little too far for him, and he gets hit by Donato. Sent down on the near side boards. That fired up the Rambler bench. No penalty called on the play.
I don't think there should have been. I think it was just a perfect storm for Charles Sullivan. Loyola guy was just kind of lining him up and put a clean shoulder into him, but he went down fast.
Loyola fires this one down. Luke Fagan will skate up through neutral ice. Fagan over the line. Luke Fagan with a shot. That one stopped. Rebound. It was sitting near the goal line, but eventually covered up. And the net has come off as well. A little pushing and shoving after the whistle going on.
That was a tough play because I actually think that the whistle blew way, way early. This is a nice shot there, comes in, and the puck is not covered, but the ref saw the net bump up. You might be able to see it right here where the net bumps up, but it actually comes back down on its moorings, and then they push it away.
Here's another good look.
And I think that initial move on the post is what blew the whistle, and it was actually a live puck.
Here's Ryan Mulvey coming back up high with it. Glove down in the circle by Tutai, now below the line. Puck regained by Alex Tutai. Sends it back up to Mendoza. Braden Mendoza. Down to Tutai, back up to Mendoza. Fires a shot. Save made right into the logo on Benjamin Srichandra's jersey.
I like what GBS was doing there. They got a lot of good passes and then let their defensive men open to get some shots in. And then the defensive men on GBS didn't shoot it until he had one of his players standing in front of Trishanda. So, I mean, that's the way you play. You got to block out his view. And you almost got to stick on it for the tip.
5:50 to go here in period number 3. Face-off won by GBS once again. Mendoza. That shot gets blocked. Chasing after the puck is Wigmore, but getting there first was Mendoza. Now this one out to neutral ice. Loyola picks it back up and they'll bring it in. Colin Wigmore down the left wing side, still hanging onto the puck. Plays it off the end boards, picked back up by the Titans. Charlie Tubuchanik. The pass up through neutral ice, finding Jacob Steele. Now out to the neutral zone. Titans will have to get it back in. Down to the final 5 minutes here at Glenview Ice Center. Game number 6 of the spring. Just 3 more games local after this one. And then the Titans will finish up the spring season down in St. Louis with a tournament in mid-May. This one played off the boards by Kosmeter. Weiss slides it across. Vanderplug with a shot. How did that stay out of the net? What a save there by Benjamin Srichandra. Now the other way, it's a 3-on-1 for Loyola. Lots of speed here, backhand shot, looking for the 5-hole of Preston, couldn't find it. And now here come the Titans back the other way. It's Owen Kosmeter down the right wing side. Nice defensive effort there by Birkenbuell to knock the puck off his stick. Kosmeter gets it back. Sends it up to the left point for Graham Vanderplug. Now across, here's a shot. That one tipped high of the net. Asher Vanderplug down to Kosmeter. Below the goal line, he's taken down by Birkenbuell. Right in front, Vanderplug with a shot. A couple sticks in the way of that one. Graham Vanderplug keeps it alive left point just for a moment. Now it's kicked ahead by the Ramblers. It's another 3-on-1. Here's a shot, Berghoff, and a nice defensive effort by Luke Fagan. Here's another shot, that one got blocked as well. Now Kosmeter looking for Weiss, he found him. Jonah Weiss gets knocked off the puck. How about this action here in the last minute?
Weiss is possessed out there. He's making great plays. He's in it all the way, so that's his speed. He's going to go take a well-deserved break right here.
Back and forth we go at the Glenview Ice Center. Some grade A scoring opportunities for both sides. Back to back to back. Now here come the Titans once again. Charles Sullivan over the line, left wing side. Sullivan down below the goal line, far side corner. Looking for a pass. He'll go to one man at the left circle. Nice pass back up to the point, but it's stolen away. Here comes Orborowski. Backhand shot, and Preston able to get the save. 2.5 minutes left. We haven't had a whistle in quite some time either. Top of the right circle, here's a shot, looking for the deflection by Christopher Gall right at the doorstep, couldn't find him. And we continue on, tied 2-2.
Watch out what's going on behind this play. Yep, we got a whistle. Maybe they'll both go, or it's one. I think they're both going to go.
Yeah, some pushing and shoving. We'll see. I know it was way behind the play. We'll see if the net cam caught any of it. And yeah.
Yeah, they're just, they got tangled up, but then they would leave each other alone as the play just kept on going on down the ice, and that back referee was standing right with them.
There's that chance on that side, and then I just wanted to really quickly take a look at this one, if we have time, on the goal cam.
All right, big face-off for Boris here.
Looks like the Titans, well, yeah, okay. They showed a power play on the clock, but yeah, we'll stay 5-on-5. Face-off taken by the Titans. Here's a quick shot. That one blocked. Rebound comes outside the zone. Now Loyola can't bring that one ahead of one defender. Boris kicks this one ahead. Zach Boris has two tie, crashing the net. Here's the shot, and they score! Zach Boris sent it to the net. Alex Tutai was right there. We'll see exactly how it crossed the goal line, but it's a 3-2 lead for the Titans.
If you take a look, Boris starts his play by using all the tools, and part of your tools are your skates. He stays a little wide there, but he made that centering pass, and that started it all. I actually thought that that pass by Boris coming through the slot when it hit the goalie, I actually thought it was in.
Same.
And then finished it off the play for number 20 on GBS. What a great play. But Boris started that play by kicking the puck ahead to him.
Now, meanwhile, Loyola trying to answer, but that one blocked. The other way comes GBS. Alex Tutai has to wait to be onside. He'll send it back for Mulvey. Backhand pass to the far side for Graham Vanderploeg. 90 seconds away from their first victory of the spring. Now to neutral ice. Ryan Mulvey will send it in. Here's a shot, they score! Second of the night for Owen Kosmeter. And that makes it a 2-goal advantage for the home team here in Glenview, 4-2.
Well, Kosmeter got a gift. If you take a look at this play, this is put on net by the GBS player, and then he just kicks it right out to Kosmeter, who's just flying down. And then, of course, he takes the most exciting shot in hockey, which is a slap shot from maybe about 12 feet and just beats the goaltender on the short side. So,
oh, we'll see if we get any kind of view on this angle. Oh, that's awesome. All right, so 2 quick goals scored less than a minute apart by the Titans. And now we're down to 1 minute remaining in the third. We'll see if Loyola pulls their goalie. We've seen some conflicting opinions by the coaches this spring. Some teams just say, forget it, this is exhibition.
Yeah, it might not be critical here, but he is going to go. So they're going to, this is all practicing those moves when you got to do them in the regular season.
All right, 40 seconds left as Loyola will try and tie this game up. Here is a shot, that one blocked, rebound in the slot, forked out of there by GBS. They're able to backhand that one out. 27 seconds left. Kosmeter's out on the ice with the empty net. He's got 2 goals tonight.
Looking for a Hattie.
Now it's picked back up by Lochnicki. 14 seconds left. Vanderploeg hacking his stick. Lochnicki able to get ahead of a couple defenders, but not take a shot. And it's covered up by Thomas Preston. How about that move? Coast to coast, flying through the neutral zone. Peter Lochnicki, but unable to get a shot off.
He's one of the fastest skaters on this team. I remember him from last year. And the only thing he couldn't do was shoot the puck. He brought it all the way from end to end, put some great moves on some players to get around them, but you got to be able to get the shot off. He just got too deep, and then he lost his footing and went into the boards.
In the win column, GBS here in game number 6, victorious for the first time this spring. 4-2 the final. Over Loyola Gold, the same score that the Ramblers beat the Titans a week or 2 ago down at Heartland. But at the end of the day, the Titans dominated this one and maybe could have had a bigger advantage on the scoreboard than what is the actual one, 4-2. 40-17 the shots on goal here in the game, and some late game excitement to close this one out.
Yeah, you know, I loved so many parts of tonight's game. Charles Sullivan, kind of his heart was in it all night. He's bumping some players and getting into some scraps a little bit. And then Ryan Mulvey with some of his stick work. Boris with, you know, using his feet to get pucks up to his forehand and then getting those. He's the actual one that was all involved in that go-ahead goal. So a lot of great things. Preston not getting that much, not getting tested that much, but just a really, really good hockey game, I thought, besides the power play.
Yeah.
Although, you know, you pick up the shorthanded goal, and it got to make you feel, a shorty is always like getting 2 power play goals. You know, it's like, and it's nice to see the teams, all the friendships on the ice, people from different teams shaking each other's hands and coaches talking to each other, and knowing that they're probably getting pretty close to their longest break then before they come back next October.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm sure a lot of these guys in the high school circuit between different schools are friends. I'm sure a lot of them grew up playing with each other, but the spring is where you can really, you know, show that friendship after a game. Maybe the emotions are a little too high in the regular season, but after a game like this, it's all just, you know, not for fun, that's not the right word, but it's about, it's, you know, the pressure's off. You could say that.
Yeah, in contrast to that, somebody might think that this is where some of these, like, games like this might, you know, build some rivalries between the two if you start getting, you know, hit the wrong way or whatever, and you start having a little animosity towards the other players. But this is a great night to come out and watch the game, and it's fun to see it, and getting so close to summer.
All right, well, that'll do it. The final score, GBS getting their first win of the spring season. Glenbrook South 4, Loyola Gold 2 with that game-winning goal by Alex Tutai. He now ties Asher Vanderplug for the team lead in goals this spring with 3 apiece. Another quick turnaround for the Titans as they continue on this stretch of 4 games in 6 days. They will be in Lake Forest tomorrow, taking on the Scouts at Alumni Memorial Fieldhouse at 7 o'clock. You know we'll be there to bring you all the action right here on the South Hockey Network. So for Gerard Boris, that's John Ward. I'm Dylan Ward saying thank you for hanging out with us. One more time, the final GBS in the win column, 4-2 over the Ramblers.